Greetings, programs. Back at our still life, we're just wanted to show that after the perfectionism got the better of me there for a moment, I sat back and did it again, and it's come off all right. So I had to remember it's a painting. I picked a painting, so it wouldn't have to be perfect. You don't necessarily have, from the artist's point of view, the same that you would get from a camera, so there may be some distortions. Like even with a fisheye lens, you don't necessarily get what the artist chose to put down. So that's fine. You know, he might have looked at it one way and then looked at it another way and finished it, and or not cared or enjoyed the fact that the table was a little curved or a little funny relative to you know, what you would think of as straight, true right angles and stuff. So once I got that out of my head, it's come along just very quickly, and I just wanted to show that it's important. Once you have your rough shape, you need to hit Control C and make sure that it puts a camera in there, and that way that you can hit, because I made this mistake once, you can hit P then, and then you can go look around at your scene, right? Let's make our scene visible, right? There's all our objects. We can go work on them. I could even disable the background. I could hit Alt B and I could turn that off, right? And now I'm working in a world like, you know, I could even hide the camera if I wanted, and I can forget about all the scale and everything else. And because I've got the camera there from when I hit Control C, once I had all that lined up, I can at any time just hit C and I'm back where I was. I can hit Alt B and I can bring my my file back in for reference. So there you go. That's more or less what you want to do once you get it lined up, is just start blocking everything in and see if, not self-elimination, what do I want? I want the opacity. Blocking everything in and see if it makes sense. It's a little tricky with some of these perspectives sometimes to make sure that you don't have things clipping. I think that these objects were, in some cases, butting right up against one another. I think that they were probably laid out with that intent. So some of them are very close, but even though they're clipping in my two-dimensional views, they're not going to end up clipping, because the pottery has curves and the grapes are squishy and they can butt right up against things, and so it's not going to. These objects are actually not even clipping in most cases, so it just looks like they are. Something else I realized is funny is that piece of fruit is about to roll off the table, and it really doesn't look like it will from this point of view, from the artist's perspective, but as near as I can tell, if that table's about 1.5 feet wide, which is now what I think it is, my box is now 18 units, so that was an adjustment I made. My grid is still 12 units, so it's in the middle of the box, whatever, I don't care. I have the box. So, yeah, this would be an animation where that's just ready to roll right off. So now that I've got all my stuff blocked out, I'm very, very happy, and I'm ready to start sculpting. So I'm going to model the pottery, I'm going to model the fruit, I'm going to model the grapes, I'm going to make the little vines, I'm going to think about textures, I'm going to think about lights, and that'll be really the fun part of this project, is when we get to lighting and start to be able to, you know, look at different rendered results and see how photorealistic we can get it. Even though the grapes are in fact gargantuhuge now, because if my table's 1.5 feet, which I believe it is, then these grapes are like the largest grapes known to man. That's all I'm saying. I think the artist chose to exaggerate them, but that'll be fun too. So there we are. Good luck, have fun.